You've been taught a lie, a beautiful lie, sure, a poetic lie, but still a lie. You were taught that your feelings are sacred, that every whisper of fear, every tremor of doubt, every fleeting sadness must be respected, listened to, obeyed. You were taught that if it feels bad, it must be wrong. If it feels hard, it must not be meant for you. If it feels scary, you should run the other way. You were taught to build your life around your feelings. And that's exactly why you're stuck. How many dreams have died because you didn't feel like it that day? How many times have you surrendered your future to a momentary discomfort? You didn't feel brave, so you didn't speak. You didn't feel inspired, so you didn't build. You didn't feel ready, so you didn't start. And the world, the brutal, uncaring world, didn't wait for your feelings to catch up. Here's the reality no one told you. Your feelings are chemical storms, electrical weather patterns flickering across your brain, a bad night's sleep, a missed meal, a stranger's opinion, can all rewire your entire emotional state in less than 5 minutes. You're obeying a system that doesn't even obey itself. You feel tired, you feel hopeless, you feel excited, you feel worthless. It cycles endlessly, without warning, without mercy. And yet you treat it like truth. You bow to it like it's sacred. But feelings aren't sacred. Feelings are weather. When the sky turns black and the rain pours down, you don't sit in your house paralyzed, telling yourself that your life is over because the weather changed. You know it's temporary. You know it will pass. Why don't you treat your sadness that way? Your fear that way? Your exhaustion that way? Because no one ever taught you. They taught you to idolize your emotions, to treat every inner resistance like a brick wall you dare not climb. They taught you to think, if I don't feel motivated, it must not be my path. If I feel anxious, it must be dangerous. If I feel uncertain, it must be wrong. And they robbed you. They robbed you of your ability to fight through fog, to push when nothing inside you wanted to move, to rise when every muscle in your soul begged to collapse. You think you're weak because you feel resistance. You're not. You're weak because you believe resistance means stop. You feel fear and you obey. You feel tired and you obey. You feel sadness and you obey. You hand over the steering wheel of your entire life to a random chemical cascade you barely even understand. Do you know what separates the ones who break through? It's not discipline. It's not talent. It's not even hunger. It's defiance. It's the simple, brutal decision. I feel tired. I move anyway. I feel afraid. I speak anyway. I feel small. I act anyway. Not because they feel like it, because they decide. Every feeling you obey is a chain around your ambition. Every feeling you fight through is a sword in your hand. You can cry while you build. You can hurt while you climb. You can tremble while you speak. You can move broken. You can move afraid. You can move hollow. But you must move. Because if you wait for the day your feelings align perfectly with your mission, you'll wait until the day they bury you. And no one's coming to dig you out. Discipline isn't motivation. It's moving when you hate it. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not confused. You're avoiding. You're not lost. You're waiting for life to drag you instead of standing up and moving yourself. Discipline isn't some motivational high. It's not a TED Talk. It's not an Instagram quote slapped on a sunset. Discipline is this: getting up when it's easier to stay down, choosing the hard thing when every cell in your body is screaming for comfort, taking the next step when the last 10 felt useless. Let's talk about what discipline looks like. When no one's clapping, it looks like dragging yourself to the gym when you're still sore from yesterday. It looks like opening the laptop to work on your business after an entire day that drained the life out of you. It looks like studying the boring chapter nobody else will study because you want what they'll never have. It looks like sitting alone, uncomfortable, building something, while everybody else is at the bar pretending they're already somebody. Discipline is ugly. Discipline is quiet. Discipline is humiliating. It's you versus the mirror. It's you versus the 1,000 tiny voices whispering, "It's not worth it," in your ear. Most people lose that battle every single day. Because here's what nobody tells you. Your feelings are irrelevant. Nobody cares if you're tired. Nobody cares if you're overwhelmed. Nobody's coming to give you a gold star for doing what needed to be done. Feelings are weather. They pass. They shift. They lie. You don't cancel your life because it's raining outside. You get a coat and you keep moving. So why the hell are you letting sadness or fear or boredom cancel your mission? The truth is brutal. Life rewards the person who moves, not the person who feels. It rewards the person who acts, not the person who plans. It rewards the person who drags themselves through the boring, ugly, humiliating days, while everyone else is still waiting to feel ready. Ready is a myth. You move anyway. You work anyway. You show up anyway. Even when it's raining, even when it's humiliating, even when you're convinced it's pointless. Because if you don't, someone else will. And you will have to live in the world they built, not the one you dreamed of. Discipline isn't about winning. It's about refusing to lose. No matter how you feel, there are traps inside you, built by your own emotions, set by your own mind. And if you don't see them, you'll live your entire life obeying invisible chains. First trap. I don't feel ready. Let me tell you something. Nobody feels ready. The people you admire, the ones who look fearless, they didn't wait for readiness. They moved while terrified. They built while doubting. They stepped into the fire anyway. Waiting to feel ready is how you guarantee you'll still be stuck next year, telling the same tired story to yourself about someday. There is no someday. There's only today, and whether you broke your chains or you didn't. Second trap. I'm not good enough yet. Good enough for what? For who? The people you think are good enough didn't start that way. They were beginners. They were awkward. They made mistakes while everyone watched. You know the real difference. They didn't hide because of it. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be relentless. That's how you become good enough, by earning it. Nobody's going to knight you. Nobody's going to declare you ready. You do it dirty. You do it scared. You do it imperfect. Or you don't do it at all. Third trap. I have to wait for motivation. Motivation is garbage. Motivation is a sugar rush. It's a high that disappears the second something feels heavy or boring. You don't need motivation. You need a graveyard. A place inside you where you bury all your excuses, where you bury all your soft little stories about how it's too hard, or too early, or too late. Motivation is the voice that says, maybe tomorrow. Execution is the voice that says, even if it kills me, today. Which one are you listening to? Fourth trap. I can't do it if I'm scared. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is not a reason. Fear is a test. A test to see if you want it badly enough to walk through the fire. You don't get to be brave if you're not scared first. You don't get to be strong if you don't feel weak first. You don't get to win if you quit the second your chest tightens. The door doesn't open for cowards. It opens for the ones who feel terror and step forward anyway. These are your traps. Every day they're set, ready to trick you, ready to lull you back into sleep. You either disarm them with discipline, with awareness, with brutal execution, or you stay a prisoner of your own mind forever. You've spent most of your life waiting for motivation, waiting for signs, waiting for someone to believe in you so loudly it drowns out your own doubt. You've been taught to wait for a moment when it feels right. You've been taught to wait for rescue. Maybe it was a parent, maybe a mentor, maybe a relationship you thought would fix the holes in you. You kept telling yourself, if you could just find the right path, the right plan, the right person, you'd finally become who you were supposed to be. But that's the lie that's killing you. No one is coming to save you. No mentor, no partner, no program, no book you read will walk for you. No podcast you listen to will bleed for you. No affirmation you whisper will lift the weight off your back. You are the rescue mission. You are the cavalry. You are the final weapon. Or you are the final excuse. And no one can make you pick which one you become. Every day you wait, you die a little more. Not physically, spiritually. You die in tiny, almost invisible ways. The dream gets a little quieter. The hunger gets a little duller. The fire inside you flickers, gasps, weakens. Until one day you wake up, look in the mirror, and realize the person you swore you'd become is a ghost. You have to stop waiting. Stop waiting for your feelings to clear like a sunny day. Stop waiting for your family to believe in you. Stop waiting for the fear to vanish. It won't. None of it will. The world doesn't owe you healing. The world doesn't owe you clarity. The world doesn't owe you a single drop of understanding. And honestly, that's freedom. Because once you accept that no one's coming, you stop waiting. You start moving. And the second you start moving, even broken, even doubting, even lost, you become unstoppable. Because the ones who move without guarantees, the ones who bleed without applause, the ones who act without begging the world for permission, they are the ones who bend the future in their hands. You don't need saving. You need to walk through the fire alone and realize you were fire all along. You were taught to live by your feelings, and it almost destroyed you. Every time you hesitated because of fear, every time you shrank because of doubt, every time you waited for confidence to arrive like a letter in the mail, you gave your life away, one tiny bleeding piece at a time. The saddest part? You probably thought you were doing the right thing, being careful, being patient, being smart, but really, you were just dying more politely. Think back. Think about the opportunities you let slip away. Not because you weren't ready, but because you were scared, because you were tired, because you didn't feel like it that day. How many doors did you watch close, with your hands still at your sides, telling yourself you'd catch the next one? Be honest. There are dreams you buried alive. There are relationships you let rot on the vine. There are versions of you, stronger, braver, bigger, that you starved to death because you waited for permission from feelings that were never designed to save you. And maybe you hate yourself for it. Maybe you feel ashamed. Good, you should. Shame isn't your enemy. Shame is a signal that you're finally awake enough to see what you've lost. But shame without movement just becomes another prison. You have to move, even now, especially now, even if it's slow, even if it's ugly, even if it's half blind and half believing, because the only way to reclaim what you lost is to stop asking permission from a system that was always broken. Here's the real secret they never told you. You don't need to feel powerful to move powerfully. You don't need to feel brave to act brave. You don't need to feel ready to start. You move anyway. You build anyway. You speak anyway. You fight anyway. You become the thing you thought you had to feel first. Most people wait their whole lives to feel ready. They die waiting. Most people wait their whole lives to feel motivated. They die unbuilt. Most people wait their whole lives for fear to leave. It never does. They never lived. They just manage their fear in nicer clothes. But if you understand this, if you really finally feel this in your chest, you realize something most people will never know. Freedom doesn't come from feeling good. Freedom comes from moving anyway. Moving through fear, through sadness, through rage, through self-doubt. Moving like it's raining and you're already soaked and you don't care anymore. Moving like pain is just another city you pass through on the way to your empire. When you move without waiting for perfect feelings, you become untouchable, not because you're numb, not because you don't feel, but because you know that feelings are just weather, and you are the mountain. Storms can tear at you, but they can't move you. Every second you act in spite of fear, you tear a hole in the invisible cage built around you. Every moment you move through doubt, you cut through chains your family, your culture, Your past tried to weld onto your bones. Every time you execute when everything inside you says quit, you are writing a new name for yourself. A name built not on how you felt, but on how you moved. You are not broken. You are buried. And every hard, ugly, brutal step you take while carrying your fear is you digging your way out, with blood in your mouth, with gravel under your nails, with no music playing and no crowd watching. You, just you, versus the cage, versus the feeling, versus the voice that keeps whispering, you can't. And you will answer it with your footsteps, with your fists, with your breath, with your refusal to wait anymore. You are not waiting anymore. You are not asking anymore. You are not bowing anymore. You are not feeling for the right moment anymore. You're moving. Broken, scared, tired, angry. It doesn't matter. You are moving. And once you start, nothing they built to stop you will survive you. Not fear, not sadness, not loneliness, not hesitation, nothing. Freedom was never waiting for you at the end of the rainbow. Freedom was in your first ugly step forward, when you stopped believing your feelings were God and started remembering you were built for war.